You know, and obviously, you know, why is DevM there? We all know why DevM's there. Cash grab. DevM back again. All right, game's about to start. We're going to go into game 2. And for everybody else that's here, thanks for joining. We've got 350 people about to go into game 2. Thanks for all the follows, the hosts as well, Helping Hands, Von Ivan, AE, and the Prussian Prince. Thank you guys for supporting. And without any hesitation, let's get into game 2. All right, so hello everybody. Welcome to game 2 of this show match for the Ultimate Team Tournament. We have here on the south side of Elst Outskirts, it's going to be Theodosius and Thanatos playing respectively USF and Soviets.
On the north side, we have the Axis players, Von Asten and Isildur, shining in the first game with a victory as allies, and now have to play as the opposite of the teams. Let's see how this will work.
I know what you were trying to say. You know what you were trying to say, but you didn't say it.
Exactly.
No, it's fine. Interestingly, Theodosius has gone straight in with Airborne Company. I love this. I think this is a great commander. It's not actually what I was expecting. I was expecting USF to play mechanized because I was telling you about this light vehicle game, you know, where we see the WC-51, we see the Soviet scout car, and they push together. That's probably better on more open maps, in fairness.
Maybe,
yeah.
But this also gives him the possibility to skip any kind of T, T2 or T3, just to, because he could building MGs, he could drop in also AT guns and have those late game strike. The P47 helps him a lot to take down tanks.
Yeah, the P47s are... I just think they're great because if OKW doesn't go battle grouper for the flak half track, then really Axis doesn't have an answer to late game aircraft. And things like the P47s can be devastating. Or they can even force your opponent to back tech and waste fuel in going for those counters. So yeah, it's, you know, it's a nice commander, and of course one of the best things about this commander, I think Airborne allows you to kind of steamroll with USF because you can go for the lieutenant, you can power drop your AT guns, so it's not like you lose out on AT by going lieutenant, which you normally would if you didn't tech captain. So it allows you a lot of flexibility, and Airborne themselves are just so good. The only unit in the game that can hold 2 M1919s, and they just decimate in infantry. So I love this commander pick.
We're seeing a very interesting build from Thanatos, to be honest. He just going 3 conscripts and trying now to instantly build those medic center on his base. So there's no other tech at the moment, no building he's going for. He's just at the moment staying at those triple conscripts. Theodosius, meanwhile, building a lot of riflemen and have his mortars still on the fields. I think that Soviets going for the seal that probably Theodosius don't have to build his medic truck that fast. It's one of the easiest way to go. Probably the other way would be better, building a medic truck, but I feel like that conscripts are not that strong in the early game. Riflemen's shining there more.
I think they're very versatile though. That's one of the key things with them. They're quick, they can oorah, they can get behind those support weapons in ways that the riflemen can't easily. So, you know, I think they're a good choice. We'll have a look how it works out gameplay-wise anyway. I'm going to just say, we've got Airfield saying, Rangers can hold 3 M1919s. Well, you know what? Soviet engineers can hold 4 M19s, I believe. But that's not the point. I'm talking about you can build them. I'm talking about upgrades. You know, it's paratroopers, you can actually build those from the start and know that you're going to get them on the field. So they're a strong unit. That being said, being able to reinforce in the field, I just find is freaking fantastic for any faction. So
it looks a bit like that they are trying the same thing like in the last game. They staying together. They put his army together to a big army and trying to hold one side. It's a bit hard to say if this is really the best way for allies, because allies have a stronger units at the start. But I think because of the pool of the mortar, they're trying to have a better map control on one side first. Let's see how this works for them. We're seeing still from Von Aston there are 2 mortars on the fields, so this could be a problem for Theodosius after all.
Yeah, you know, I really like double mortars on the field. They just do so much work on your behalf, and you have a lot more time to focus on positioning of units and the direction that you push units. But this is also a map that has a lot of buildings. And also you see the opponents have got their own indirect fire, so outmatching it I think is a very good idea. Building control for allies is a bit of a no-no right now, and used correctly, Von Aston could be devastating with these mortars. They've got double munitions, and I think this is dangerous. You get a lot of munitions per minute from the munitions points, you know, plus 11, and that means that both OKW and Austere, you know, that they're likely to get upgraded very fast in this game, and for conscripts that can't upgrade, that's huge.
There was an early minefield on the right side on the munition here, and the Pioneer gets almost wiped to trying to cap this point. That was risky from him to go into that. That's a very interesting kind of try here.
The great minefield as well. Both players in first game and second game have made use of mines very, very early on, and they've been effective every single time. But there goes the engineer, wiped by Von Aston. Not quite paying attention there. That's the risk.
You just see that the minefield goes off, and just feel like, okay, let's have a look with a friendly squad. Maybe we could just pick up some kind of enemies.
What do you think about this fuel cache from Von Aston? And we see a defensive. We've got Battle Grouper from Isildur. He's going for the flak half track. So
we will see probably only vehicles or strong vehicle push into T3 probably. We also see that we have still both picked Doctrine from Theodosius and Thanatos. They just still know which one they have to use. They didn't even waiting till the other teams decided which to use. That could be interesting in the early and mid game if this is really working for them. But the 120mm mortar could be very good choice here against those double mortars.
Yeah, it is good. But one thing I will say is that you know, Austere's counter barrage ability is very, very effective at countering mortars, whether it's like mortar pit, or whether it's because assuming they're within range, they fire back very accurately with counter barrage on, and kind of like immediately. So with the right positioning, the HM38 can be negated here. I don't know, who do you think's in the stronger position right now? Because I mean, I'm calling this. This looks like Von Aston and Isildur are having a great game again.
Yes, they have some good pickups still. They're getting the Pioneer on the top right side. That was a nice pick. But at the moment, the VPs are also still on the hand of Von Aston and Isildur. So the start of the game is again in the hands from Von Aston and Isildur. But we're seeing probably very soon the first contact between the first light vehicles. That's the flag half track from Theodosius against those flag half track from Isildur. They are probably trying to get in range in a couple of seconds or minutes.
Yeah, I mean, assuming the flak half track set up, it's very, very difficult for Theodosius to now use his AA half track to get in. It's going to have to cause some kind of disruption, maybe get it to move and then go in, then get the armor piercing rounds before that half track is set up. You've got to make a bit of a play to do that. Got conscripts trying to cap the right hand side again through that minefield, and yeah, this is
meanwhile they're getting problems to hold the left side again. There are some push from Force Grenadiers trying to get the fuel under control. There's not really a lot of stuff to countering that. He's trying to help with some riflemen to get those fuel under control.
Theodosius and Thanatos, by the way, they're about to take double fuel, and because of the heavy support build from Von Asten, he's not flexible on the field. That's one thing that has to be said. He's got a little bit of a bulk mobile army, which is now going over to the fuel point, but because of the investment, he's teching up quickly, he's gone for the fuel cache, everything's support based, he can't actually push on the right hand side, he can't actually do much, and that's allowed the allies to start getting map control back. We're seeing mines planted as well. Do we have minesweepers? No, we've got flamethrowers, so we could see danger situations coming in there. Could we see though? Oh, the flak half track!
Almost both getting destroyed, and both gets away with very low health. One just gun destroyed. We're seeing also on the top side the conscripts in a very bad situation here. They are just have a mines field in the retreat path, so if they're retreating very soon, they will probably running off the mines field and we're just getting destroyed totally.
They might actually pick up the pioneers as well if they're lucky. We did see that, I think, in the last game to some extent. Great bunker positioning, Austere on the left-hand side. They've got the Raketten and the MG bunker, and Theodosius is having to move up his mortar. That's going to start engaging that bunker immediately, trying to take it down so he can continue his push-up through Isildur's front lines. And allies may get a triple cap. It'd be a good triple cap if they can. If they can hold double fuel and get 3 VPs, they'll be in a very, very good position in this game.
Seeing him pushed up MG on the top side. He's now in the building and probably trying to help out that nothing pushes anymore the top side. But the conscript just getting in time out of range and pushing again to help out on the top side. I feel like the fuel at the moment is totally in the hands from Theo and Thanatos this time. They have probably a better way to get earlier vehicles out. We're seeing the fuel cache from Von Asten set up, but I don't feel like it's enough to get the fuel to counter the first vehicles from Theodosius and Thanatos. The question is if they're going for the T3 or the T4.
Yeah,
first.
It's Thanatos has got 253 fuel. I mean, he hasn't got any of the tier buildings up yet. Engineers are in
T2.
base.
T2 you have still up.
He's got
so
T2, but as for 3 and 4, I mean, there's no chance of tanks. The Panzer IV is going to be out quickly, and it's going to be the dominant unit on the field. Coming up, you know, just after 12 minutes, Panzer IV is going to be a big unit. There isn't, to what I can see, any AT on the field apart from the guards and some mines. So Panzer IV for Von Asten, this is going to be a big unit to watch.
Meanwhile, Theodosius is just tagged up to T4, so he will be probably able in about 2 or 3 minutes to get a tank out. I believe after he see the P4, he probably goes for a straight to Jackson to counter those vehicles.
Possibly, yeah. Jackson would be a great idea, really. It's just a funny one because the map, there's a lot of sight blockers on this map. There's a lot of true sight going on. So the Jackson, you do have to kind of work with the Jackson on a map like this. There we go, we've got...
Could say it on the top side and downside. We've seen some MG loose on the top side, but he gets back. A big push on the top side. Pioneer could going down through the P4. He gets it. With a perfect aim shot. Close range.
Importantly and as well, that was the minesweepers on that engineer squad. So in order to potentially push up the map against Axis, he's got to also invest munitions. So it's a good pickup. It's a good pickup from Von Asten's perspective.
It's his second Pioneer you lose, Thanatos. One in the early game, one right now, and he have still one Flamer up, but he's not care about it and building now an AT gun, what they really need against this P4. They don't really have any vehicle counter on the field, just a guard, which is totally not enough against this P4. And, well, Theo have still to wait about a minute before he could just get a tank out.
Look at these Rakettens who they're setting up right now. 2 shots from this could wipe it. The first shot misses. Second Raketten lines up, doesn't actually fire. Theodosius spots it. he's playing the half-track very, very well, I have to say. He's got it in good positions all the time. He's keeping his eye on it because it's a great suppression platform. He's constantly just pinning those Volksgrenadiers down, letting the HM38 from the Soviets do huge damage with the mortar. And what do we have here? We have a walking Stuka from OKW. Now this is awesome. Because when we look at this line here of the three mortars...
Triple mortars. And an MG as well, so you will hitting anything.
Do you know what? If they're paying attention, Isildur has just popped the artillery flares. If they can see these flares coming down, they might realize something's about to happen. You've got to really be watching out for that, though. And here it comes right now. Stuka is in, but it's a little bit late. Retreat's already been called.
Probably get out with everything. Yeah, he gets out with everything.
Unfortunate timing.
It was probably too late. They have still in movements. One mortar retreated still, the other one just get up and want to run away, so or so. So I feel like it was probably the wrong time to use it. But very lucky that he just decided to go away. We still see not any tech right now from Thanatos. He's still waiting probably because he don't have really a lot of MP left. But we're seeing finally the first tank counter from Theo goes up with the big tank destroyer, the M10 in big. Arrives at
the half-track and Flak here. The Flak wins the engagement, somehow tipped by the Panzerfaust from the Volksgrenadiers. Can the bazookas get a ground attack now through the fog? They hit and they get it! That's a great ground attack play from Theodosius, recovering that situation, equalizing the damage from light vehicles there. That was a really good play.
A win-win situation after all. That flag half-track just away is a good thing for the P-47 in the late game, so they don't have a counter against that anymore. That's very lucky for Theo now.
Oh, so many dangerous situations. Von Asten and Isildur. Look at the way that they're pushing through. They're putting huge micro pressure on. We just see the Jackson in. We've just got tier 3 only now coming up from Thanatos. He's the one banking all the fuel. And we just hear there on the radio, Americans losing squads.
He's on the way to tech finally. Thanatos. He's at the moment going for T4, so he have just problems with the MP to use his fuel after all. But we will see probably very soon the T85s on the field, and he could easily go for 2 without waiting.
It's I feel like this is a very difficult situation. Where is that Stuka landing now? There it is.
On the top side. Hitting almost the Jackson as well, but was a bit...
I think, interestingly, so tier 4's coming on now for Soviets. Thanatos has lost a lot of squads. He lost the guards, he lost his other engineers with the minesweepers. Now he's got to reinforce his army and save up for a tank. We're looking at minutes, before this gets on the field. That's going to leave only the Jackson, which is kind of nullified at the moment. There's nothing to deal with the infantry. This is a huge problem from Theodosius and Thanatos. They've left themselves open to huge infantry pushes that they cannot handle. And the Jackson isn't going to help here.
I just see like we have 3 mortars from Austria on the field. That's insane. They're doing good work in the middle one as well as against every kind of engagement which want to set up. So MGs at the moment have no chance to hold any VP here. So it makes it much harder for Thanatos and Theodosius to get control from the VPs with any weapon teams.
I can't believe Isildur is stacking 850 manpower right now. On top of this, if he throws his entire army, he'll still be able to rebuild it. It's pretty crazy, actually, how well he's played this.
He didn't set up a T4 building, or I didn't miss that. No, he could just going for one. I don't know what he's waiting for. I think it looks like he's just going instantly for the command panzer to support those P4 and don't trying to take up here, because he could easily build the T4 still and getting some kind of infantry on the field, Obersoldaten or so.
Oh no! That Panzer IV has killed so many infantry squads. Just managed to pick off.
Panzer IV is dangerous, but not going for it. That's...
I'm a bit worried right now. I'm a bit worried for our boys White Hydra, who have been dominating the 2v2 scene along with Gold Path too. You know, how is this happening that Von Asten and Isildur suddenly just step in like this and look so strong?
Probably they have more experience with the new patch. We don't know how much Theodosius and Thanatos played since the last patch arrives. We're seeing Theo a lot in 1v1 scene around, in King of the Hill as well. But in 2v2, I'm not sure how much he did play with Thanatos after the patch. A lot of changes happened since then, and we're just seeing right now they have problems against Von Asten and Isildur, which are doing a great game here right now.
Got
all those models.
Nagano in chat there saying Isildur doing a great job, just like I teached him. Taught him, Nagano. But it's true. I mean, Nagano is one of those players that plays with just stacking the manpower, focusing on the micro units instead of, do you know what I mean? Instead of actually just building all the time. And seems to work. Nagano's strategy seems to be foolproof. That's it. Don't spend your manpower. That is how you win games. Criticize.
Yeah, just wait up to you have 1,000 and then just spend them to a big tank or something else. That's the way to go. Or call in any units.
What do we have here on the field from Von Asten? What has he gone for there? Is that the Brumbear? Nice choice. Very nice choice.
Brumbear, yeah, that's a very nice choice here. They have the tank anti-tank power because 2 Raketens stealth could dealing with almost every tank on the field. So the T-85, which is right now on the field, will have problems to push at any point here. Trying to get a hit through the edge.
Yeah, I see him there using the ground attack, but T-34 can't penetrate. Jackson says, "Let me!" Fires a huge shot through, now pushes that Panzer IV away.
Oh, the Jackson gets into the range of the Raketens. No, just decided to go back again.
Where have we got the... Oh, this is bad. Where is it? Oh, I missed it completely. It's somewhere completely different.
The Echelon squad and the building bunker and the mortar.
Wow.
And he dropped his M9 bazooka as well. That was a nice sticker hit.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need to keep doing if they're going to keep their stranglehold on this game. What a great ground attack there from the Brumbar!
Oh,
wiping 4 models immediately. Jackson
almost dead. Jackson tries. But didn't get. And there comes the Raketens from the sides. He gets spotted in time from the MG. He'd have to retreat probably.
Yeah, you've got to wonder what allies are really doing here. The thing is that they've got VPs still. They need to play safely because, yes, Axis will get stronger as the game goes on, but they need to keep their units alive. They're about to lose the bazooka. They're about to lose the HM38. And if they lose that, and that goes into the hands of Axis as well as the 3 Austin mortars we already see, that is going to be a huge, huge issue as the game moves forward.
We're seeing at the moment a bit confusing gameplay from Theo. You don't really know where to go with the Jackson. He's just making little corners in the downside and the sword, and he's very defensive at the moment with those tanks. He's not really trying to push in any point or to try anything. They have big problems to hold the VPs, to be honest. The left VP is still under control, but they're coming at the moment just an MG34 from Isildur to take out at this point. And with the Brumbear and the Command Panther engineer, I think they have a good way to hold this point as well.
I think that the the key thing here that Von Asten and Isildur are doing is that they are. One second, I'm trying to track this. Trying to track that Stuka drop. Well, one of the things that they're doing is that the tanks, they've got tanks, they're just not pushing them forward all the time. They're letting the infantry do a lot of the work because the infantry are just winning. They win easily over the allies, and they're just using that. They're not, pushing the tanks forward unnecessarily, keeping them there from when it's needed, and that makes the Jackson kind of redundant as a choice. Great use of the Brumbear there. Ground attack to wipe the actual, I think it was an MG.
Look at this kind of combination play from the double Raketens, the rocket launchers, and also the command panzer. They just working totally together here and trying to just take aware about the big tank here. Brumbear still firing manual. No place where nothing is anymore.
Yeah, I mean you have to ground attack with the Brumbear. If you auto fire it, it's not so great, is it? But
and you have to stay for sure as well.
Yeah. So it's good to see, you know, they're using these tools that they've got very well. They're using them properly. They're getting great benefits out of them. Thanatos is just losing so many models. I can't even. I just don't know what he's going to do from this point. We've got Von Asten has just gone for Jaeger armor, which means later on in the game, if we get later on in the game, he could bring out an elephant. I don't think he's going to go for that though. I think he's going to go for the Recon and Stuka.
I'm missing totally in this matchup right now Katusha. Katusha would brings wonder against those triple mortars, but he didn't get any up here. That's, I think, the biggest problem. They don't have anything to counter those mortars, and the mortars are almost all vetted. I think one get lost in the late game, but still that 2 and that 3, 2 mortars, and the third one just get back on the field. More and more vets very soon. So that's, I think, the biggest problem right now, that they can't really pushing here. They're getting constantly wipes and hit from the mortars, and the Brumbear makes it just not easier.
No. To be honest, if they get the Jackson in a good position, they try and keep the Brumbear and the Command Panther at bay. They make use of their infantry and the T-3485 to just take back territory slowly. I think they can still get back in this game, but they have to be very, very careful about how they play it. The Jackson is key in all of this, and the Jackson is being a little bit docile. There we go, though. Manages to find the Panther with a huge shot.
But he gets away again.
There's popping some abilities there.
Grenades? No, it doesn't look like so. The Jackson doing good damage and vetting slowly up, but it's not enough. Also the Panzer, Command Panzer, is still vet 1 and getting closer to vet 2. We have a second Stuka on the field. That could be even worse going now for the mortar and the AT guns.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. It kind of means that they're very, very confident about the lead that they have. By the way, T-3485 getting pushed there with a great push by Von Asten. Panzer IV gets behind the lines. The AT gun is not prepared for this at all.
Stuka,
and there goes the Stuka on top of it!
Destroyed everything almost. The second Stuka probably firing also very soon. Is it still reloading? Oh, yes, it is. Have to wait.
Still got a bit more of a reload. What a great push by Von Asten. Saw an opportunity, took it. Now he's going to ground attack the AT gun, removing it from the game. There we go. What a great play. I mean, he may lose the Panzer IV for this, but I don't think it is that bad in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, you're just losing like 2 tanks, a tank and an AT gun, as well as a mortar. So it was for sure the nice pickup here for Von Asten. We have still triple cap going on here, so they could still holding after those pushes the 3 VPs and have not a problem. Just there's no infantry to probably take any VP at the moment. We have an MG on the top side covering the VP. In the middle are just mortars, which just firing constantly into the middle, so he can't really stay along in this kind of direction.
So
another T-34 goes down from the Stuka. And now we have only 2 Jacksons on the field.
Do you know what? It would be great to see that T-34 kind of push, because you've got a lot of fixed turret weapons, Brumbear, Stug. They could have pushed, turned the guns around. Great wipe in the center VP. But you know what? We could have seen some kind of play there with the T-3485 as bait, with the Jacksons in behind to... I need to see where this Stuk is going, because every time I miss it. But there we go. Theodosius and Thanatos surrender. That is going to be 2-0 in this series. And White Hydra manhandled.
Gameplay.
Wow, that's that was quite brutal actually. I think Theodosis and Thanatos, I don't know if they played as well as they could have in that game, if I'm totally honest.
I feel like it's probably the map. I'm not sure who chooses the map, but I feel like it's the map. They didn't really get into the point where to go on this map. I feel like Theodosis was along very often not really clear if he goes top or downside. He mostly just driving little corners in the middle and the downside, don't trying to push on the top side. And as well, I feel like Thanatos completely ignoring in the late game after 15 minutes the top side. He don't even trying to get onto this VP, and they just pushing together. I think that's also a problem of this map, that if you don't control at least